here we are, and we're back at it again, back in the house to do what we normally do. Top Secret First Edition on Classic Tabletop RPG Friday. Now, if you were here last week, you saw we took a little bit of a hiatus because we looked at the Kickstarter for a brand new tabletop RPG called Subversion. It's a cyberpunk fantasy tabletop RPG. If you missed that video, not to worry. The link for it is going to be down in the description below. You can go over there, take a look at the video, and if it interests you, then go over and take a look at their Kickstarter. Yeah, that link will be in the description of that video. All right, well, today I'm just going to say what's up to everybody real quick because I'm trying to get ahead on the schedule. So I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. We're gonna get straight into Top Secret First Edition, talking about explosion. Yeah, baby. That's how we do it. And then on the other side, I got the question of the vid. So let's do it and roll 'em. In Top Secret 1E, explosives are deadly. I touched on this briefly in the previous video where we talked about combat from vehicles. So in this video, I want to take a look at the use of explosives, particularly how damage is reckoned in combat situations, and also how to blow holes through things like walls. In general, there are two types of explosives considered in Top Secret 1E. You got your dynamite and plastique. Technically, there is also liquid explosives like nitroglycerin and what is called the most dangerous liquid explosive in the world, azide. Say that fast 3 times, but that goes beyond the scope of the core rules. You're going to have to come up with some homebrew alternatives if you want to add that to your campaign. One primary thing that's considered with explosives is any barriers and their thickness. And depending on the explosive being used against it, and what the barrier is made of, it will blow a hole in the barrier someone can crawl through if the proper amount is used. To figure that out, you have to go to what I call the explosive barrier table. Now, they don't call it anything. That's just what I call it. So as you can see here, you've got stuff like wood 1 inch. So you're gonna need half a stick of dynamite or an ounce of plastique. Got some wooden plaster 2 inches or aluminum 1/2 inch thick. You need a stick of dynamite and 2 ounces of plastique, so on and so forth. Now, this is obviously not meant to be exhaustive. It is a guide for you because let's say, for example, it was 6 inches of wood. All right, well, 6 inches of wood is not brick. It's not as strong. All right, but 6 inches of wood is more than 3 inches of just wood and plaster. So it will probably be someplace in this area. And so we're going to say, okay, between 2 and 4 sticks. So we're going to, 3 sticks of dynamite and between 4 and 8 ounces of plastique. So you can say anywhere from maybe 5 to 6 ounces, somewhere there, to break through 6 inches of wood. So again, this is used just as a guide, or of course, it could be used for exact results if you got a 6-inch brick wall, for example. The only special conditions that modify this is whether the explosives are confined. So let's say, for example, you put the little special things inside of the wall to blow it up with plastique. Okay, that's different. Or if somehow you can put the dynamite inside of a barrier or whatever you want to blow up. If that is the case, then the amount of explosive that's actually needed is 25% of what's listed here. So if, let's say you have a concrete wall, but somehow we're able to put, maybe they've drilled some holes inside of it and then they stuck it inside of the wall. All right. Well, you got a pound here of plastique. You only need 25% of that, which is 4 ounces because, of course, 16 ounces in a pound. So you need 4 ounces of plastique, or with 8 sticks, you need 2 sticks of dynamite if you can just slide those bad boys inside of the wall. So as I've mentioned before, explosives are dangerous to people. Man, they're dangerous to people in Top Secret. So let's go up here. If you had like a hand grenade or an ounce of plastique or 1 stick of dynamite, so either of these, they're going to do 16 points of damage to anyone within 10 feet of their explosive force. Let's go over here to some characters. So I made these characters from before, right? So let's take a look at a couple of them. Let's take a look at BJ here. What would happen to BJ? If BJ was in that, he'd die. He only has 10 life. Okay, let's look at Lucas. What would happen to Lucas? Lucas, gone. Lucas is obliterated, by the way. He only has 7 life. Alrighty then, and let's go with Sarah. Sarah, what's up? Can our girl survive? She most certainly can't because she only has 13. Okay, so all of them would be gone. Now, these are beginning characters, so maybe if they got a little bit more experience under their belt, got a little bit more life, they would be able to survive that. But at this stage, they will all just be blowed up and be gone. If they are within 11 to 20 feet, they will take 4 points of damage. And if they are within 21 to 30 feet, they will take 1 point of damage. Like all things Top Secret, there is no roll for this. They take the full damage. So if your character is within that, then that's it. They take the damage. Now, this is not counting cover and barriers and things like that, which we'll get into in a second. Windows will act like shrapnel when hit with explosives. So anybody within 5 feet of a window, roll 1d4 because you're going to take some cutting damage. Those caught within the blast radius of an explosion will be deafened a number of phases equal to the amount of damage they receive. Here in Foundry, we have this little tool here that will allow us to draw a circle in a radius of something like a grenade. So let's do an example. Let's say, oh, dude, right over here, this guy over here, he throws a grenade, right? So he throws it over in this direction. So let's say he throws it right about here. So we're just going to go out, and the radius here would be 30 feet because you take damage out to 30 feet. So let's take her out 30 feet and see what happens. Okay, woo, man, this is going to do some damage to this diner. Good googly moogly. Okay, we're right about there. Let's say right about there. If we're not counting this diner counter wall deal right here, let's say that's not there. How much damage would Sarah take? Okay, well, let's go ahead and let's just measure from the middle here. And she's 17 feet out, so she'd take 4 points of damage. And she would be deafened for 4 phases. So she wouldn't be able to hear a thing for 4 phases. If by some fluke they have some kind of ear protection, then that time is halved. So if she had earplugs in or some kind of protective headgear on for her ears, then it would be 2 phases, not 4. So what can mitigate explosive damage is soft and hard cover. Now, soft cover or lying prone, either or, that's going to reduce it by 8 points, while hard cover will reduce damage by 15 points. The core book does not define what soft and hard cover is. So let's just use some common sense. Soft cover may be behind drywall or a desk or something similar, while hard cover could be a concrete or brick wall or a boulder or something like that. In this scenario, in the diner, we would say that she would see the grenade. Obviously, she's getting ready to hit the dirt. All right, she's hitting the flow. And since she's hitting the flow and she's got this counter wall in between, it says 8 points of damage, but she's both prone and has that intervening structure. So I would say something like 10 points of damage. And so the 4 points she would take, she wouldn't take because she would have hit the flow and she'd have this counter as an intervening structure or soft cover. Now, if your PCs fire themselves in an underwater situation and explosives are a part of the mix, then things change up just a little bit. Using explosives underwater increases its concussive force. However, the range is decreased. In this situation here, just got a little bit of scenario. Okay, here's the bomb. There it is, right there. And we have Sarasota. She's underwater here. I got a little rain going just to add a little ambiance to it. And she's trying to get away from this bomb that has been planted. The bomb is only going to have a range of 20 feet instead of 30 feet. However, if a PC, or anyone for that matter, is caught within 10 feet of the concussive blast, they take 24 points of damage, opposed to the 16 points of damage above water. If they are within 11 to 20 feet, they take 6 points of damage, opposed to 4 points on land. So in this situation, if Sarasota had gotten this far away from the bomb and it goes off, we're going to have to calculate, okay, how much damage is she going to take? How far is she? And it looks like she's about 15 feet away from that bomb. She would take 6 points of damage. Now, anything beyond 20 feet is nothing. And another way you could do this is we can go and do the same thing that we did before, using this bomb as the center and then just drawing it out like this, 20 feet, like that. You would automatically know, yep, she's caught within the radius. You just need to know how far in the radius. And so she's going to take her 6 points of damage, but she can take that even though it's gonna hurt. I'm glad to be back because I did miss the classic tabletop RPG Fridays. I know, yeah, sometimes we're gonna have to do that and do something else on a Friday or a Tuesday or something like that. But classic tabletop RPGs is a mainstay of this channel. It's bread and butter in terms of RPG Elite. So I'm glad to be back covering Top Secret and continuing onward with the series. Now, question of the vid today is this. Let's say you have a Top Secret session that's about to go down. Maybe it's a one-shot, or maybe it's the beginning of a new campaign. And you got some hours to burn. And you want to get in the right mindset for this. So you've got some movies that you could choose from to kind of get you motivated. So I want to know, what movie would you watch to get motivated for a Top Secret First Edition session? Let me know down in the comments below. Hey, if you like this video and it added any kind of value to you, whether it be entertainment or otherwise, go ahead, do a brother a solid and give him a little bit of YouTube algorithm love and crush the like button. And also, if you want to stick around, if everything's cool and you're thinking that I'm not too crazy, well, at least not in this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell and check me out. See if you like what's going on down here in the RPG Elite land.
Fellas, I'm ready to get up and do my thing.
I gots to go, y'all. I gots to do my snag a puss.
So exit, stage left.
If you've got a session this weekend, I hope it is a great RPG Elite session. And until next time, folks, God willing, I'm gonna have to skedaddle out of here. Don't forget, I got some links down in the description for things that you may like for your Top Secret First Edition, or really any of your tabletop RPG sessions. But let me get out of here. I'm outie like a scouty, 5,000 leets. Peace. Say it with me now. And hair grease.